Many years ago, I grew up on a Christmas tree farm in Malala, Oregon. My favorite time of the year was Christmas, of course. My parents would decorate the house with bright Christmas lights that would glow through my window, which would make me feel warm and safe, like I was wrapped in a warm family hug. I would drift off to sleep filled with holiday spirit and the anticipation of the family fun that awaited when I woke. My strong feeling about family came from my mother, a small baby girl born in 1943. She was born to parents that migrated from Sweden to pursue an American dream for their future daughters Eva Marie and Margaret, two young Swedish girls born and raised in America. My grandparents achieved what they wanted, and that was to live a better life than what they could in Sweden. But what was not lost was the Swedish heritage and family traditions that they held so dear in their hearts and passed on to their children and their grandchildren. Here I am, a little somber girl, but in my heart I could not love my family more or want for anything. My life was carefree and shared with a beautiful mother, father, and three brothers. One brother yet to join this happy family. My life was about family, my life was about traditions, and my why in life was yet to be determined. But what I did know was the love of family would always burn strong in my heart, but what I didn't know is how much. The picture-perfect family growing together, sharing holidays, loving each other, and not thinking about anything other than we will be united as a family forever. No one can ever break this bond. No one can ever come between what I treasured the most, and that was the love of my family. The love of family is a strong bond, but what is even stronger is the relationship a mother and daughter can share. And that was my experience. As I grew from a small girl to a teenager, me and my mom were best friends. We did everything together. Her beauty was like no other, dark hair and piercing blue eyes, but her inner beauty was what was so special, since her kindness reached everyone that ever came in contact with her. She was a saint, one of those people that would do anything for anyone. I was always in awe of her beauty inside and out, and could not only work to aspire to be as great as her, but what I did feel was great love for family, and blessed she was my mom. Years went on. The Swedish girls, Eva Marie Wright and Margaret Leff, just born 1 year apart to the day, celebrate the love of family by blowing out birthday candles on their shared birthday on November 17, 1983. Eva Marie turned 41 years old, and Margaret, my mother, turned 40 years old that year. The day had come, the day no one could ever imagine. The perfectly happy family was broken apart by death. It was a blindside, breaking all of our hearts, shattering our dreams, and most of all breaking the warm, safe feeling of love of the family, and putting doubt in my mind of why I'm here, if it is not for the love of family. On May 30th, 1984, my mother, Margaret Ann Kylo, passed away from cancer. It was a short fight. She was diagnosed with kidney cancer shortly after she blew out her last birthday candle on her 40th birthday. She fought bravely, but in the end she passed. But she passed not wanting to leave. She struggled saying goodbye, and honestly, I don't think she did. She wanted to stay with her family. She wanted to be with her children and her husband, which was her high school sweetheart. She had a strong love of family, and she was not ready to allow the warm glow of our hearts to be turned off, like when it is time to take down the Christmas tree lights that glowed so beautifully through my bedroom window. But here, her body told her otherwise. Margaret Ann Kylo was born November 17, 1943, a Swedish girl in Colton, Oregon. She died May 30, 1984, 40 years young, a wife, mother of four, and a hero to all that knew her. She was a person that I will love forever, and she will never be forgotten. She taught me so many things, but most importantly, she taught me the love of family is why we are here. But without my mother as the anchor, how do I find my own personal why again? All I felt was emptiness and the unpleasant feeling of loneliness of knowing that I was on my own. I certainly was left with an adoring father and three brothers. However, I knew I would face being a woman with no mother to help guide me through the next phases of my life, and that was daunting. However, happier times did come along. I was married on December 17, 1988, to Thomas E. Higgins. We had a Christmas wedding and lit a special candle just for my mother, a candle that glowed throughout the dimly lit church. When I walked down the aisle, I felt the warmth of family, but I also felt the loneliness of missing my mother and wishing she could share this wonderful moment with me. My love of family was there. Maybe it had returned from a dark place that it had been hidden after my mother's death, but it certainly did not burn as strong as it did when my mother was with our family. It is not to say that I did not love everyone and everything around me. It was the death of my mother which changed me and made me question why a person should believe in anything or anyone if they can be abruptly taken away and your heart shattered into a million pieces. Our perfect family was starting to form. We bought our first home, and like my parents, I decorated the house with bright Christmas lights that would glow through our windows, which reminded me of the warm and safe feeling that I was wrapped in a warm family hug. But now it's my own family, and I am the wife. The feeling is strong, and I would drift off to sleep, filled with holiday spirit and the anticipation of family fun that waited when I woke. On May 17, 1993, Sean Thomas Higgins, 9 pounds, 8 ounces, 21 inches long, our firstborn, my mother's words echoed in my mind. Love is family. Our why, darling. We are here to give back and to love our family. After holding our child, my heart was overwhelmed with joy, and even though my mother could not share the moment with me, I now feel her warmth in my heart and knew that the birth of our son was the point in my life that made me believe again in the love and importance of family. On May 13, 1998, our second son was born, Austin Michael Higgins, 9 pounds 6 ounces, 20 inches long. His birth was not easy, but he was born strong and healthy. Again, I could feel the warmth of my mother and knew she was with me every step of the way. Then finally, our daughter joined us on August 6, 2002, Caitlin Sandra Marie, 9 pounds 2 ounces, 20 inches long. A mother's love for her sons is forevermore, but a mother's bond with her daughter is forever in our hearts. I wish from that day forward that God would grant me life that would allow me to watch my children marry, have children, and be their anchor when they need to come home for a warm family hug. I pledged that I would give back and I would live my life, instilling in my children that the love of family is what is most important in life. We need to be there for one another, support and carry each other when time of need, and celebrate when success is achieved. My why is simple and maybe the same for many, but my why is my family and raising children that are thoughtful adults that carry on their lives by giving back and cherishing family. Love of family is like bright Christmas lights that glow through our windows, making you feel warm and safe, like wrapped in a warm family hug, slowly drifting asleep, filled with spirit and the anticipation of family fun that awaits when you wake. I am living the dream, husband, home, 3 beautiful children, and a renewed sense of why, my family. My heart feels full of life, but life is not that easy, right? It takes money to raise a family, and one parent cannot do it alone anymore. So off to work I go. I started out as a teller with First Interstate Bank just to supplement our income since my husband was working and finishing college. But to my surprise, I was accepted into the bank's management trainee program, which launched me into an unexpected career in banking. Then First Interstate Bank was acquired by Wells Fargo, and my career continued to climb. But my husband did not have such luck. His career took a turn for the worse, and I was placed in a position of being career woman, breadwinner, versus a stay-at-home mother, anchor of the family. Again, my love of family is strong, but this unexpected twist in predefined in my mind at least, destiny shook me. I felt a loss in my heart that I would miss out on treasured moments with my children, which I did, but families have needs that require money, so I had to do what was necessary to provide, so I went to work. As you can imagine, the flip role in a household can be somewhat of a difficult transition, since I get up to work and my husband stays home and takes care of the children. The dynamics between me and my husband was stressed at first until we found our new defined why. His role was as important as mine. Our family and our children always remained our core focus. I am living the dream, husband, home, 3 beautiful children, and a renewed sense of why, my family. My heart fills full of life, but life is not that easy, right? It takes money to raise a family, and one parent cannot do it alone anymore. So off to work I go. I started out as a teller with First Interstate Bank just to supplement our income since my husband was working and finishing college. But to my surprise, I was accepted into the bank's management trainee program, which launched me into an unexpected career in banking. Then First Interstate Bank was acquired by Wells Fargo, and my career continued to climb. But my husband did not have such luck. His career took a turn for the worse, and I was placed in a position of being career woman, breadwinner, versus a stay-at-home mother, anchor of the family. Again, my love of family is strong, but this unexpected twist in predefined, in my mind at least, destiny shook me. I felt a loss in my heart that I would miss out on treasured moments with my children, which I did, but families have needs that require money, so I had to do what was necessary to provide, so I went to work. A life of stay-at-home dad is amazing for children. Our kids benefit with having a full-time dad, but also a coach. The kids felt great success, built confidence, and flourished and grew from small children to young adults. Sports being a focal point for the family and the children, helping them develop healthy living routines and interpersonal teamwork skills. But in the end, my life has taken a full circle. Once the young girl filled with love of the family, shook by tragedy of the loss of my mother, and the life-altering success of a career, has found her why. My family will forevermore be what I live for. The love of my children is the breath I breathe every day of my life. And as time goes on, there is a shift in balance to life. Like my husband going back to work, I work from home now, watching and enjoying our children as young adults. And my new best friend is my mother's sister, the young Swedish girl who has taught me that the love of family, it would hold us all together, and that is a feeling that can never really be lost. I will forever hold in my heart and remember how my mother instilled in me the love of family, and that reminder is always the bright Christmas lights that glowed through our windows, making us feel warm and safe, like wrapped in a warm family hug. Slowly drifting asleep, filled with spirit and anticipation of family fun that awaits when I wake. Thank you, Mom. I love you to the moon and back, 1,000,000 times more. Anne Marie.